Hey guys, what's going on? Happy holidays. Hopefully your holidays were great. Mine were pretty good myself. And now we are in a solo shuffle and we had another 40-minute wait time. It was so much fun waiting for this. But as you can see, this is my very second solo shuffle. I haven't done any outside of putting them on YouTube because I really hate waiting, but figured what the heck. So in this one, we got Rep Paladin, Marksman Hunter, Unholy DK, Enhancement Shaman, Mistweaver, and Dispersed. And as you can tell, I am on the Enhancement Shaman as usual. So this was a bit of a tough one. It was a pretty poor matchup for the Marksman Hunter, but the Rep Paladin actually had a really good time. This was probably the Rep Pally's match if I gave it to anybody. Um, but we ended up pulling out even. Technically, we went 4-2, but it's a technicality, so we still went 3-3. But anyways, let's get into it. So first off, it's me and the Unholy DK versus the Ret and Marksman. Uh, we're going to be wanting to focus down the Marksman Hunter. It's going to be very, very tough because a Ret Paladin removes all slows with his Hand of Freedom, and a Marksman is super slippery on its own anyways, but with the Paladin it makes it super difficult to keep him locked down. But as you can see, we're doing a pretty good job holding him near us, trying to get as much damage out on him and keeping him as close as possible. But the Paladin's doing a great job of peeling and making sure that he always has freedom. So I'm always trying to focus on kicks on the monk here. The DK gets a nice double blind there on the monk, but the paladin actually has magic bop, which has no visual effect, which is kind of silly. I hope in future patches they add something for it, because how the heck are you supposed to know he has that other than you're hitting into an immunity and it just saying immune? But anyways, the paladin again doing a great job CCing, gets a blind off on our healer and then gets him into a hodge. The healer has to trinket that. I know the unholy DK gets a strangulate on the monk. I go for a hex here, get a full hex. I'm surprised neither of them kicked it. I was pretty close to the paladin and the marksman hunter is just right there. Here they switch to me, so I'm like, oh crap. I just go ahead and burrow. DK grips the pally really far away, use burrow to knock him up and do some extra damage. Primordial wave into a double tap lightning bolt, and we end up tying the round. So bit unfortunate, but I'll take a tie over a loss any day. Um, but here we have myself and the marksman hunter against the unholy and the ret paladin. We had the priest on our team and we're fighting the monk. Our main focus is going to be on the rep or the DK. The rep pally is kind of difficult to kill. With the recent buffs to their damage output, they are definitely a big contender in this season, I think. With the amount of utility and the amount of off heals they have, I think they're very, very powerful. Um, the one thing you gotta watch for against a Rep Paladin is their constant dispels. I don't know if he was running it, but every time they Judgment, they dispel, and it really does screw you over. It could have just been the monk dispelling a whole lot. But anyways, I want to be focusing on kicking the monk and trying to move the Ret and the Unholy away from the Marksman Hunter, although it is very difficult with the fact that neither of them have much for movement impairments, but yeah. Anyways, I go for a hex there, eat the pally kick. The hunter gets a nice scatter into a trap. It would have been better to use a... Because scatter and trap share the same DR, I think hex also shares it. As you can see, I hexed them and it was a full durate, or not a full, it was like 75%, because I didn't know hex and trap and scatter all share the same DR, which is interesting. So keep that in mind when you're playing. There I gave the monk precog because I'm dumb, and he started rolling as I went for it. Here I go for a hex. I get the full hex. We have to send turtle, unfortunately. my healing output is very, very low. I'm still not used to running Stormweaver, to be honest. Here I burrow. We also mix Life Swap with it, which is a bit unfortunate, but I can understand the priest's thinking, like, oh crap, he's low, I gotta hurry up and heal him. That's the easiest way. Here I try and pull them away from the hunter. Unfortunately, the priest also feared at the same time, which kept them nearby, which kind of sucked. But there the hunter falls, unfortunately. You also can't really move DKs with static cling because of their death's advance. When they use that, they are invulnerable to movement impairments, which really does suck. But now we are fighting the Marksman Hunter and the Unholy DK, and me and the Rep Pally are going to be focusing down the Marksman Hunter as much as possible. And if we can't reach him, we're just going to beat up the DK while we try and run towards the Marksman Hunter. There's no point in blindly running at somebody without doing damage, unless you can get to them really fast. As you can see, DKs have a very obnoxious slow. It's like 70% apparently, but it feels like 100. You're almost just dawdling. But here you can see Hunter's really trying to get away from us. I just chase him down. There he sends a full frost trap on me. And it's the frozen one, so you cannot dispel or get out of it. So here we are going for the DK because we can't quite reach the Hunter right now, so we're just wailing on him. The monk uses his bubble on me just to make sure I don't fall, and it is a pretty lenient cooldown. I still have burrow ready. There I go for a hex on the priest. I also didn't realize I didn't have lightning shield on, so I went ahead and put that on. Unfortunately, the priest was out of range. There I burrow because I know they could have killed me with one kill shot. It's a very scary thing from a marksman hunter. Here I chase the MM down behind the pillar because I know they don't have a huge amount of damage right now, so I feel pretty safe to do so. But unfortunately, we can't quite get the damage out. He gets away, so I just stand behind the pillar with our monk, beating up the DK, trying to get something out of it while not eating everything from the hunter. There's no point in me standing in front of the hunter if I can't get to him. Get really close to dying here. I have a Stormweaver proc, but as I said before, I'm not used to it yet, so I could have definitely healed myself a lot more. I'm also not PvPing as much as I used to either, so I'm really slow on things and not getting used to dropping healing stream and stuff like that. But we're back on the hunter. Unfortunate for him, he jumped into us, which was kind of odd. But there, I get a kick on the pennant. He's sprinting away with his master's call. He's just poking behind the pillar. I cannot move, and it's so irritating. But there, I get a primordial wave, get dogs out, pull him out from the pillar, get him on top of us. There's the turtle. We get really close to taking him out. So we switch to the DK for a second. I'm trying to with all these minions in the way. I use my wall because I am very, very low. Ultimate penance goes out from the priest. We're just trying to get something out of this. There's a nice blind from the pally, getting both the hunter and the priest, forcing the priest trinket, and then we're able to finally take out the Death Knight. If you're fighting a DK, they are definitely a good option to hit. Although they do have a bit more healing than most classes, they do take a lot more damage than others, and they don't have as many defensives, in a sense. They have Icebound Fortitude, and they have a lot of absorbs, but they don't have much damage reductions, kind of like Enhancement Shaman. They lack the damage reductions, but they do have the self-healing available. Here I checked out my healing, and my healing surge is doing like 150k. It kind of feels terrible. I really don't like the idea of relying on self-healing and stuff like that. I really don't like it. But as you can see here, we want to go after the Ret Paladin a bit. But again, hit what you can. Whatever you can reach, you want to hit. And like last time, I'm going to do my best to try and peel for the hunter. Here, I saw the priest run in. I knew he wanted to fear. I should have had my tremor totem down. That was my mistake, unfortunately. But here I should have, as I was walking into them, I should have went for a hex. But I get the kick on the penance, go for the hex, eat both the kicks. Right after these, I should have went for another hex. But unfortunately for me, I wasn't thinking. Um, but we do continue. I'm just hitting the DK because I cannot move because of these slows. Kick the penance again. Right there, I should have went for another hex. I don't know what was going through my head without sending out all these hexes. I should have also been reapplying Earth Shield. I missed the kick on the penance, unfortunately, so I gave him precog. Spamming Flash Heal now. Here I go for another hex. He gets a stun on the DK to prevent him from kicking, and the Ret Paladin was nowhere in range. So we get a full hex right there. There's a penance. The monk gets a nice paralysis on his penance, canceling it. We get so close, but they get a life swap and a lay on hands. So I'm like, oh, let's hit the priest for a second. I get very, very close. There's penance. I wasn't able to kick it, unfortunately, but I just stay on top of him, dropping tremor just in case. Get very, very close. I know he wants to cast Ultimate Penitence, so I get behind the pillar so that way he doesn't hit me with it. Unfortunately, he's able to top everybody off. We have only Monk Bubble left for the Hunter. The Monk's doing a great job keeping him alive, so I'm back on the Paladin. Pally still has Bubble at this point, and he sends it. I go for a Hex on the Priest. Unfortunately, it's a bit DR'd and overlapped with his stun, but we get very, very close on the DK here. We're so close, almost there, but I think yeah, there's the Paladin sacrifice once again. Unfortunate for us, but the Hunter is going to fall here because the Monk is completely tapped. Definitely unfortunate, and the Monk was complaining that I'm not kicking at all, which is kind of weird because when I told the priest that, he was like, well, I haven't really gotten many penances off, so I think you're kicking just fine. So it was kind of weird, but is what it is. I understand the frustrations of being a healer. I don't like healing, but I do it anyways. And if you haven't tried healing, don't or do. It's up to you. You're not going to enjoy it. I don't even think healers that are healing enjoy it, to be honest. I think it's super frustrating and super spiky, so it's not all that fun. But anyways, onto this match. We are going to be wanting the Marksman Hunter again. And why? Well, because he does a shitload of damage. I almost messed up the DK's grip there. It was super, super lucky. That could have been super bad. But he's doing a great job keeping that Hunter on top of us. There's a dome. The Monk gets a nice ring of peace. I could have kicked the penance there, but I'm not sure why I didn't. I'm not sure if I went to click it and I was just out of range, but here, DK gets a nice blind on the priest. He has to trinket it. There's the penance. We both kick, giving him precog, unfortunately. There's the sacrifice from the Ret Pally. The Ret Pally is doing an amazing job CCing and supporting his team. It's kind of crazy, all while doing all of this damage. It's kind of insane. Ret Pallies, in my opinion, are very, very strong. I think they're like A tier, at least. I don't think they're S tier, and that's probably because their weak points are like self-defense in a kind of way. Although they do have a lot of utilities, their self-defense is a little bit low. They do rely on a lot of self-healing. But there I go for a Hex. It's full DR'd, unfortunately. I see the DK falling a little bit, so I'm just trying to push the Hunter away, forcing him not to be able to damage the DK. Unfortunately, I get feared. Again, if I'm near the priest, I should have just dropped a tremor totem. But here, I pull in the Hunter, just making sure he can't get in. We get a nice triple blind, which is crazy. Is a really good blind by the DK. There we get both life swap and lay on hands, because the monk got a nice ring of peace to put the Hunter back in our position. There's the ultimate penitence, and now they get another sacrifice, and now they're out of everything they can possibly give the Hunter, I think. So we're just going to continue wailing on him, and we finally take him down. And now on to the final shuffle match. We got me and the Ret Pally versus the Unholy and the Marksman. Again, we want to go after the Marksman Hunter, but at the same time, we don't just want to blindly run at him. It's definitely not the optimal idea just to sit there running at him while leaving the DK to wail on you. If you have something to hit near you, go ahead and hit it, get the damage numbers up, make sure the healer has to heal something. But we are going to do our best here, and we start off by hitting the DK. That is because the hunter is stealthed and we don't know where he is. And the Pally goes in for a quick hodge on the monk. There's there's the hunter. So I'm gonna drop Cage Totem and pull him in. Now he can't get away from us for a couple seconds, so we're just gonna continue wailing on him, getting after him as much as we can. I can't get to him, so I'm just wailing on this DK while I walk towards the hunter. And we're finally after him. I use Spirit Walk here just to get to him. He freezes me on the Strangulate, but I just go ahead and trinket it. We're still... Here I go for a Hex. Eat the kick. The Pally gets a blind off. Here I should have went for another Hex already. Because they don't have a kick. I dropped Tremor to get our priest out of that sleep, but it didn't work, and I don't really understand why, because it's supposed to work against that. You could literally see it sitting there. It was really, really weird, but fortunately we were able to make it out of that situation. We still have swap. The Pally goes ahead and bubbles just to prevent all damage. I still have Burrow ready. I do get a little bit low, so here I get swapped, and I also burrow. It was kind of like it was kind of already queued up, unfortunately, but is what it is. There I go for a Hex to kind of push the monk, but Pally gets a nice hodge, so we just go ahead and wail on the hunter. We're able to take him out. But that is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Laters!